Okay, at 7 o'clock, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, just be advised for the roll call tonight. We have both Councilman Garvey and Gardner will be zooming in tonight. Old business, approval of minutes, the regular meeting minutes. Is this actually working? Okay. The regular meeting minutes of March 20th, 2025 were provided for review. So I need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of March 2025 as presented.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call roll.
Mr. Robinson,
Yes.
Mr. Clemens,
Yes.
Mr. Brungard,
Yes.
Mr. Stednicka,
Yes.
Mr. Gardner,
Does not appear he's at his seat.
okay. Mr. Kowalski,
Yes.
Mr. Kirby,
Yes.
Mr. Garvey.
Yes.
Motion passed. Audience participation. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the council on an item that is not on the agenda? No takers. Presentation. First up is the Citizen Academy graduation. The Citizen Academy provides an interactive experience for participants to learn about the functions and responsibilities of each of the city departments. They participate in briefings as well from the staff members and a boring pitch from the mayor. So with that, I will.
Everybody that is in the Citizens Academy class, we're going to hand out the plaques individually, and then we're going to get a group picture right over here, all right?
Yeah, so I'll just read the tidbits, I guess. So you guys were the largest class, 12 students, so congratulations for that. You were all honor grads, also really good. Pretty awesome. Okay, so if you don't know anything about the Citizen Academy, it's, what, a 6-month program? Is that about right? Yeah. Or they visit all of the different departments in the city to learn about how things run and work. We also pick on them a lot after they graduate to see if they want to volunteer for some of our boards and committees. So stand by for an email from me on that. And hopefully you'll help recruit others to come to the class if you enjoyed it. So with that, we'll hand out some plaques. Okay. Becky, so we'll start with Joe.
Way to go, Joe.
I'm going to do a group.
Thank you. All right, now Becky, go ahead. Ben
You gonna do that with everybody, Becky?
Bruce, Logan.
What's his name, Bruce? Logan?
Lloyd Jackson. Princess Bear. Congratulations.
There he is.
Sign.
Way to go, Joe.
Yeah, all you short ones against the wall.
I was gonna say, I remember last time the screen was kind of weird. Ken, shift them, Ken.
It'd be nice, actually, if we just force shoot them up here, you know, and have council stand behind them.
Everybody look this way. Got everybody? Okay, all right. Smile. And want to do right in front of you?
Why not?
We're going to do kind of the same thing, but we're going to have the council in the background.
And if you guys want to stand, so you can be in the picture as well?
Is that a yes or no?
Sure, why not?
Hey, everybody look this way. One more. Good. Okay, thank you.
It is a night of presentations. Next up is the Arbor Day proclamation. One of the long-term goals of Lansing Tree Board is to retain the status of Tree City. Lansing's been recognized as such for 25 years. One of the criteria for gaining this status is an Arbor Day proclamation, which Dan's going to read. Come on up, Dan.
Whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for planting of trees, and this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, and Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. Trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating, cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. And trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of the business area, and beautify our community. Trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. The city of Lansing has been recognized as a Tree City USA by National Arbor Day Foundation and desires to continue its tree planting ways. Now, therefore, Anthony R. McNeil, Mayor of the City of Lansing and the State of Kansas, does hereby proclaim April 4th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Lansing and urges all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees, woodlands, and to support our city's urban forestry program, and urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the hearts and promote the well-being of present and future generations.
You ready? You give it the end of the picture.
All right, thanks.
We're going to plant a tree tomorrow at 10 o'clock in honor of Arbor Day.
Okay, great. All right, the next proclamation is Child Abuse Prevention Month. The First Judicial District CASA Association are present to receive the proclamation declaring the month of April as National Child Abuse Prevention Month. So you, come on. My standby reader is Jake.
Whereas our children are our most valuable resources and will shape the future of our communities, and a majority of child abuse and neglect occurs when people find themselves in stressful situations that are preventable, but without community resources and support. They don't know how to cope, and child abuse and neglect not only directly harm children, but also increase the likelihood of criminal behavior, substance abuse, health problems such as heart disease and obesity, and risky behaviors such as smoking. And child abuse and neglect is a community problem that can be reduced by making sure each family has the support of prevention programs created among social services, agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and business community. And together we can strengthen and support our families in raising their children in a safe, nurturing environment. Now therefore, Anthony R. McNeil, Mayor of the City of Lansing, State of Kansas, does hereby proclaim April 2025 as Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Oh, awesome. Thank you for what you do. All right, final proclamation is the National Library Week proclamation. Proclamation in recognition of National Library Week from 7 to 13 April 2024. Lansing Community Library Director, Terry Wojciechowicz, is that pretty close? Will be present to receive the proclamation.
Wojo? Yeah. National Libraries Week proclamation. Whereas today's libraries are not just about books, but what they have for and with people. Whereas libraries of all types are at the heart of cities, towns, schools, and campuses. Whereas libraries have long served as trusted and treasured institutions where people of all backgrounds can be together and connect. Whereas libraries and librarians build strong communities through transformative services, programs, and expertise. Whereas libraries, which promote the free exchange of information and ideas for all, are cornerstones of democracy. Whereas libraries promote civil engagement by keeping people informed and aware of community events and issues. Whereas librarians and library workers partner with other civic organizations to make sure their community's needs are being met. Whereas libraries and librarians empower their communities to make informed decisions by providing free access to information. Whereas libraries are a resource for all members of the community, regardless of race, ethnicity, creed, ability, sexual orientation, gender identity, or social economic status, by offering services and educational resources that transform lives and strengthen communities. Whereas libraries, librarians, library workers, and supporters across America are celebrating National Library Week. Therefore, be it resolved that Tony R. McNeil, Mayor of the City of Lansing, State of Kansas, proclaim National Library Week April 6th through 12th, 2025. I encourage all residents to visit the library this week and explore what's new at your library and engage with your librarian, because you, libraries, can transform people. Congratulations. Good?
Okay. So we'll go to new business. Item number 6 is ordinance 1130, amending the City of Lansing zoning map. The applicant is requesting a rezoning of approximately 145 acres located adjacent to Kansas Highway 7 and McIntyre Road from A1 Agricultural District to the following zoning designations: R4 Multifamily Residential District in Tract 1 for approximately 39 acres. I1 Light Industrial, Tract 2 for 85.5 acres. And then B3 Regional Business District in Tract 3, which is about 21.5 acres. The process of this zoning is to entitle the property owner future development opportunities and improve his marketability. No specific development plans are currently proposed. In accordance with Lansing's UDO, the City Council may approve the application and ordinance number 1130, amending the City of Lansing zoning map in accordance with the Planning Commission's recommendation, override the Planning Commission's recommendation in whole or part by a 2/3 majority vote of the council, or return the application to the Planning Commission for further review of specified factors. Since a valid protest petition has been filed, the vote will require a supermajority to pass. A vote will be of at least 6 members of the council, not including the mayor. And that is per the AG's opinion of 1992, which I made the error last time and voted. We have been informed that in a mayor-council form of government, in a supermajority, the mayor does not vote. So I need the staff to recommend a motion to adopt the ordinance number 1130 to amend the City of Lansing zoning map in accordance with the Planning Commission's recommendation.
So moved.
Or any of the other motions.
Second.
Okay, so you have a motion to approve.
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Any discussion? No. Okay, open discussion. I'll allow anybody who wants to speak from the audience on this specific zoning ordinance. I'll give you 3 minutes a person. Please come up and state your name, even though, and your address, please.
I feel like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
My name's April Cromer. I live at 23916 131st Street in the county, about 3 miles or less from this property. I've communicated my concerns to this governing body regarding the importance of adhering to your own comprehensive plan or revising it to meet your own goals. This project aligns with the comprehensive plan under the B3 zoning. I don't have a problem with that. But I understand you have plans to place a Costco there, or at least that's the rumor. That's what's going around. Necessitating industrial zoning. But once again, this does not meet your comprehensive plan. Accountability and transparency from the city is essential, as it honesty fosters respect from your citizens towards you. Following the comprehensive plan remains crucial. The Kansas Department of Transportation should be involved in this, given the scale of this project and the anticipated traffic on K7. If it's unclear, KDOT has the budget for this. I don't think that they do, including the McIntyre project. But what I do know is that you're creating a serious safety hazard with traffic. Planning should precede implementation and not the other way around. Again, another reason you should revise your own comprehensive plan. I don't think it's a good practice to put the cart before the horse, so to speak, and I believe that's why you have a comprehensive plan in place. The concern is, to me, that you're not zoning things with preconceived development plans, but you're zoning to make it more marketable for the developer to sell it for profit. This is a bad practice, and it does not have the heart of your citizens in mind. Is changing the zoning without a proposed development plan the best practice? Once the zoning is changed, you surrender all of your input and control into what a developer can put there. Though zoning is the way municipalities can control the direction of the developments and character of the areas. You need a plan, and that's why you have zoning, to protect the municipality and the people who live there. Hence why you need to follow your comprehensive plan. Each plan should be reviewed carefully, questioning the sustainability and continuous subsidies for city growth that you keep pushing. Subsidies will not build a tax base. You did a housing study of 157 people that you stated they wanted more affordable housing. The generic question to the public of affordable housing is too broad. Everybody wants affordable housing. When the question becomes more specific, the responses quickly change. Smaller properties may increase rental availability, but it does not build a tax base like larger lots provide. The 2021 study conducted by the Kansas Housing Resource Corporation shows only 19% of the respondents supported high-density or cluster developments. It appears that your very limited housing study, that rental property is what the city seeks to develop, which is why you keep pushing the R4 residential rentals. The highest response in the KHRC study at 59% was a desire for mortgage assistance. There are other ways to provide incentives without burdening the taxpayers. Waiving fees for single-family house use construction is a proven incentive for builders. Despite citizens' resistance for growth, your efforts appear to be pushing for development. This is not going to build a tax base. It is at least a popular option, and you know this. I think about the community college project that you guys are talking about that we know is coming. We know that that's going to provide, may I have a little bit more time?
That was
Is
3
that okay,
minutes.
Mayor? Thank you. I appreciate that, thank you. The community project, college project that you guys have, we know that you're not gonna be able to get property tax from that. I'm not sure that your citizens know that. Have you considered even the staff that you have to hire? I attended a meeting with Wyandotte County, and they're paying 16% on the dollar for that. That's gonna be a huge tax burden. And I understand that you're trying to come up with creative ways, but I don't think that you're considering what your citizens want with that. So the golden factors that I look at that you guys should be looking at, character of the neighborhood. The land adjacent to this property is still being farmed, and there are single-family residential contiguous to the property that are rural residential and agricultural land use. Zoning uses of nearby property. All the properties contiguous are zoned agricultural and rural residential. Suitability of the property. What Epic Estates is proposing will cause major traffic change, not only to McIntyre, but to Highway 7. They've already indicated, KDOT has already indicated to Lansing that you have too many stoplights. I read that in one of the reports that you have online. So why wouldn't you want to do a thorough study before you push this through? Do they even have the money? I guess I don't think so. I found a report online. Extent to which the change will detrimentally affect nearby property. Increased traffic with trucks alone will change nearby property, especially if you plan on putting a Costco or Target. Not to mention the land being farmed right now adjacent to an industrial property. We also talked about the transfer station and control burns. Apartments there, a Costco, that's dangerous. Public health and safety and welfare, same as above with KDOT. There are many people who live and work in Wyandotte County that will have their safety compromised with just the traffic alone. So thinking about alternative areas for your residential projects that you state that you so desperately need. Why aren't you using the Ryan Farm? What about the dunes? They're offering 2.5 acre lots. So real traffic impact study by KDOT is essential for the safety of introducing that amount of traffic increase. Many commuters from Leavenworth daily commute to southern areas. This is going to impact this whole area, guys. It's not safe, and you know that. Recommendations of the permanent or professional staff. Your own staff are not even considering the change to industrial in R4 when it was zoned for future use as office and business. That's what it says, B3, office, business. Your comprehensive plan is the foundation. That's why I've been coming here. I realize I'm not a citizen, and I've heard that by many people, but this does affect the area over there. I live real close to McIntyre. It's important that these traffic studies, your comprehensive plan that you should go by affords, and I get it, it's expensive, but you bring in all the people in, you do all the studies that's required, you have the input that's needed. You wouldn't have this type of resistance if you followed your own plan. It's not just a wish list, guys, and you know that. So I'll leave you with this. I have a lot more to say, but I appreciate you giving me more time. If you want to follow your own comprehensive plan, remove the R4 and the I-1 zoning, but it's obvious you want that Costco in there, or Target, or whatever it is. Just be honest with your citizens, please. You will foster a whole lot more respect when you're honest with them, if you had town halls, if you incorporated, instead of finger pointing like you have because you have resistance from citizens like me. Wait, I'm not a citizen of Lansing, so I apologize for stating that. But you will earn more respect from the people in that area if you follow your own plan. So I'm just asking that you would do that, follow your own comprehensive plan, or wait until you revise these plans until next year. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Just one thing to clarify, if I can.
Yeah.
Any new development requires a traffic study. I just want everyone to understand that. Every new development requires a traffic study. Did everyone hear that? Okay. Secondly, the developer hasn't told us of any plans or anything like that. We're unaware of any prospects or anything. The only thing we've been told is that this is to improve the marketability of the property.
Okay. Was there anyone else in the audience that would like to talk? I really do need to keep you to 3 minutes.
Okay, my name is John Redden at 24170 131st Street, Leavenworth, but not in the city of Leavenworth, actually in Leavenworth County. Okay, so I just want to say a couple things. First of all, when you consider, tonight we're talking about Epic Estates, but you really can't talk about what's going on here in Lansing unless you consider all three projects together, because it's the cumulative impact of all three projects. So, you know, we have this plan here, and
He needs to be at the mic so I can hear
okay,
him.
so this is Epic Estates.
Okay, first off, you address the council, okay? The reason you're coming up to speak is not to speak to the audience. Please tell us what you want to say. I'm good with it.
I apologize.
No, that's okay. I
Okay.
just can't even see the map if you're going to start talking.
You're right. Yeah, they should, okay, so there's Epic Estates at the top, and then Delaware Ridge, which we know is back on the table, and Riverbend Heights. And all these projects together are going to have a cumulative effect. Okay, the traffic study should consider the impact of all three projects. There's 5 entrances going onto these 3 projects onto McIntyre Road, and all those will then go into K7. So there'll be greater congestion on K7. And then there should be an analysis to determine if the schools can accommodate the student influx from all 3 of these projects. These projects, what I saw on a plan that there was going to be 344 apartment units on Epic Estates. I don't know if that's what I saw anyway. 1,721 on Delaware Ridge Housing Projects, 417. That bangs into almost 2,500 if you consider one student coming out of, on an average on each housing unit. That's going to overstress the capacity of the Lansing schools. And and then the analysis should also consider the additional services to accommodate these developments. You know, there's 12,000 residents in the city of Lansing. There's what? Less than 100 here tonight, so it's less than 1% of the people. The rest, I don't know, apathetic, I wouldn't say that, but they're right now they're watching their flat screens, and they don't realize that 5 years from now, their taxes are going to go up if everything going on that plan is accommodated. That's. Could you give me another minute?
Can you stop the beeper? I don't control that, sir. Go ahead.
That's very kind of you. You can sit down. Okay. So the other day we were in here last month. There was a statement made that we have to grow, or Lansing has to grow or stagnate. So or stagnate. And so the belief then is there's a direct or a linear relationship between the increase in development and the increase in tax base and the success of Lansing. And it's my singular opinion that is false. That Lansing can be totally successful and maybe have no increase in the tax base if they're just providing the necessary services to their residents, but having the smallest number of employees at a city of government so that people's taxes are minimal. On the other hand, Lansing could have a huge tax base, have lots of congestion. Let me finish the sentence, okay? And have bloated city staff and everybody will have higher taxes, and that is not success. Thank you.
I do have a question for you, sir.
Yeah,
Can you go over your numbers again? Where did you get the 2,500 from?
sure. Delaware States has 1,721.
Delaware States?
Delaware Ridge. Delaware Ridge has 1,721 units, various types of units.
Are you sure about that?
That's what the plan said.
No.
Delaware Ridge has 17.
I think that's a typo. There's no way you can get 1,700 units in there.
Well, they had single home dwellings, they had apartments, they had multiple, it was all spelled out on a plan. And they had 700 senior living, and it added up to 1,700, those four. Multiple, and I will get that.
And you understand that was a concept plan,
Yeah.
spitballing.
Yeah, that's right. We're
Okay.
talking about generalities here.
Okay, I'm just trying to make sure that
But that's
people
what-
understand where the numbers
yeah,
come
but I
from.
picked out the numbers exactly. I just didn't make them up. There was over 200 single family dwellings. There was so many townhouses. There were so many apartments, and there were so many senior living facilities. And then, so that was 721 Delaware Ridge, 417 on River Bend Heights, and the initial plan I saw was 344 apartment units on Epic Estates. So that bangs into roughly 2,500, and that's how I came up with it, sir.
Okay. Well, thank you for that
But
explanation.
I'll get back with you, and I'll show you that information.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Lisa Holler, and I live at 13382 McIntyre, Leavenworth, Kansas. I wrote to each one of you. I appreciate the responses I got from some of you. Thank you for taking the time to read my email. I am a citizen of Leavenworth County, but I do support the Lansing businesses and school districts that we have for years. I want you to know that you're invited anytime to come sit in my driveway and see how fun it is currently with the traffic that comes along McIntyre Road since they improved that road. I would invite you to come and spend some time and think about what the impact of these three developments is going to have on me and my neighbors. And I would invite you to really consider what rural residential means to me, to my family, and to the residents that live along McIntyre Road. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Mahan, and I live at 13883 McIntyre. I want to talk about how I believe you guys will be losing the public trust. You have homeowners who have been in these homes for almost 20 plus years. My family has owned this property since 1995. So we've all been tax-paying citizens for a long time. The city has taken our land to pave McIntyre, and I'm sure with this development, they might need to take some more.
Correction, the city didn't take your land, the county did.
Okay, my apologies, but maybe the county will take it again when we need to make the roads safer.
Well, you'd have to take that up with the county.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
The K-5 modernization project keeps being brought up, but according to the 2025 first quarter Mark Tip report, this project is still under discovery phase with an updated decreased budget with no construction near even noted. You guys promote the comprehensive plan only when it meets your narrative. It's a responsibility of the local governing body to implement policies that help achieve the community's vision as outlined in the future land use map. Seems to me that the comprehensive plan is not a wish list, as it has been stated in these public meetings, but as a guide to be seriously considered, informs the basis for all land use and zoning decisions. Otherwise, why spend thousands of taxpayer dollars and council time adopting this wish list? The city is strongly encouraged to review the plan annually. and make revisions as necessarily addressing current city needs. It was mentioned as it is outdated, yet you have made no effort to revise it. You're blindsiding families that look to our city's website when purchasing or building a home, and they see this future land use map. It might be a wish list for you, but to me, it's guidelines my elected council will follow. I ask you guys to make changes to the comprehensive plan so you don't hurt any more families. I asked you guys to consider what members of your ward would want. I asked for the council representing the ward I live in to consider my neighbors and my vote as you represent our voices. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay.
Good evening. My name is Dennis Harrington. I live in Lansing, 1233 South DeSoto, across from the high school. I had no intention of coming up here. I've just been curious about what's going on, and I'm kind of concerned that we're winging things. It sounds like you want to rezone some land, okay? A study will be done, I guess, on traffic. We're putting the cart before the horse, from what it sounds like, and I have no idea. I just started reading about this stuff, and I guess 2 weeks ago something got voted down, so now we're readdressing it. If you have a comprehensive plan, then I'm all for it. We elected y'all to take care of us, look out after our best interest. But just listening to 2 weeks ago online, and now this, it seems like the plan is out the window. So if you're adhering to the plan, then great. If you're not adhering to the plan and you want to change the plan, then change the plan, make it public to us so we can find out what's going on. And then when next time we vote, we inform voters. And I apologize for not being an informed voter at this point and wasting a minute of y'all time, but please don't put the cart before the horse. Thank you.
Paul Cromer, 23, 916 131st Street, Leavenworth County. I'd like to ask for 23 minutes. I'm just teasing. All right, I keep hearing all of you tell the people that in order to lower property taxes, you must bring in commercial and industrial business. Lansing, Kansas was incorporated as a city in 1959. With all the commercial and industrial growth over the last 66 years, can you please tell me what years the property taxes were lowered due to this prior growth? You say the city of Lansing will be left behind in the future if we do not see growth now. Lansing, Kansas has continued to spend, and only taxes have only increased. I have heard all of you say we are representing our constituents the best we can in an attempt to lower property taxes, and we are being as honest as we can be up here. Well, I'm here to tell you that the citizens, business owners, and patrons of Lansing, Kansas deserve better. They deserve total honesty on how the city is spending their hard-earned tax dollars. You keep kicking the can down the road, and the taxes continue to rise. You were elected to represent the citizens of Lansing in accordance with federal, state, and local laws. The people of Lansing will not forget your failed attempts to address their most important concern, lower taxes. And during this month that we made a proclamation on, the stress of all this taxes, and they just keep going up and up and up.
Well, let me...
Hold on, can you just let me finish, Mayor, and then I'll be done.
Sure.
There was a contiguous landowner not notified. So the only lawful vote you guys can vote tonight is to send this back and start over. So I'll finish with this. Mark 8:36. For what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul? Did you need to address me on anything, Mayor?
Well, I just want to, address the taxing, right? So I didn't want everybody to get the impression that we've increased taxes. I mean, there is a law out there, the revenue neutral rate. We've been one of the only taxing entities that have actually abided by that for 2 years in a row. the state knows that that's a broke system because they don't include any CPI. So what you would have to do is lower your tax mill levy to what you operated on last year. And when, price to run a city, asphalt, gas, all those prices go up. So you can't run a city on what was done last year. So my guidance to the council this past year was to use the CPI and the revenue neutral rate. But I guarantee you, if you look at your taxes, you're going to see that the city of Lansing, and if you look back 2 years, wasn't the taxing entity that increased your property taxes. Like I said, county taxed you, they've never gone revenue neutral. The school system has taxed you. And at least the 2 years we went revenue neutral, they didn't. All right, so we're not the only taxing entity in the county of Leavenworth. So when you want to talk taxes, read all the people who are taxing you. All right, before you make a statement that we're overtaxing everybody, because we do our best here to keep taxes down to a minimum.
I think I have 37 seconds left. Thank you, Josh, for holding that. I agree. You guys aren't the county of Leavenworth, and you guys aren't the school board. So I'm addressing you, so that's why I brought up. I appreciate the 2 years. Everyone here appreciates 2 years of revenue neutral. The taxes will go up, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we have decreased the mills over the last 8 or 9 years. We've decreased about 9 mills.
You guys have reduced it 9 mills just in the last few years. 9 mills. That's pretty significant.
Thank you.
One thing
It doesn't help when valuations just continue to go up, which is the issue, and we understand that. But like I said earlier, we've got to run the city. So, we're lowering it as low as we can every year while still maintaining enough revenue to provide services that we need to provide. So did somebody else have something?
I did, Mayor. Talking about we need business and industrial. The Leavenworth County Port Authority briefed the Board of County Commissioners that the ideal ratio between residential and commercial business in a budget is around 65 to 70% residential and the remainder being commercial and business. Right now, the average in Leavenworth County is 90% residential and 10 business and industry. That we're in Leavenworth County. All right. Right now, I asked our finance person, where are we in that 90-10? And she says pretty close to that. So I'm saying we do need businesses. That's why we're harping on town center. You can't attract businesses without foot traffic. That's why we did Kansas City, Kansas Community College, and you're right, their school. They don't get taxed, but it presents the foot traffic we need to attract some of the others. We got a corner lot that sold to McDonald's. It's been sold for 2 decades, and they're waiting for enough people to warrant building. So, yes, we need commercial. We need industry so we can reduce the residential. That's the crux of it. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I'll let the council go first. I just have a couple of things.
I'd just like to mention that this council and councils prior to this came up with a vision for Lansing, and it's written on our City of Lansing, Kansas paperwork. And the vision says, a growing, welcoming, and safe community where residents thrive because of the quality neighborhoods, excellent schools, and successful businesses. A growing and welcoming community. Based on what I have read and heard, Lansing has not grown in a significant amount of time. When I've gone out to campaign, someone mentioned earlier, the number one thing that I heard was we need to do something about the taxes. The mayor just eloquently said why our taxes are going up. I believe that if we can broaden the tax base, that will, it may not reduce our taxes, but at least it'll keep our taxes the same. That's what I believe, and that's what I've been informed and trained on. So that's what I have to go with. Our number one goal, and I've mentioned this before, but I will say it again, the goal of Lansing is to have diverse quality housing stock that caters to all incomes and stages of life. Economic development, which goes along with the industrial businesses. Infrastructure, the goal of Lansing is proactively maintain and plan for the infrastructure that improves quality of life. We have a swimming pool that's going to go in that I believe is going to help with the quality of our life. We have a wonderful wastewater treatment facility with excellent people running it to help us have a quality of life. This whole board, everything we do is to make sure that our citizens in Lansing and our neighboring citizens that live in the county, that they also have a quality of life. In my opinion, the right thing to do is to help Lansing grow and to help our citizens have that great quality of life. Thank you, Mayor.
Did you have anything? Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to address a couple of things that's kind of been said, and also.
Excuse me?
Public comment's over? Is it closed? Public comment? You need to close the public
Okay,
comment.
we'll close it.
Okay. Yes. Public comments are now closed.
We still have people that wanted to talk.
Oh, okay. Well,
You guys were done. I
all right.
didn't want to interrupt.
well, I had
He
paused
already
quite a while before we let the council talk, so I didn't realize you wanted to come up and talk.
No, sir.
Excuse me?
Just, you need to raise your hand so the mayor can see if you're ready to speak.
Okay. No, please.
Pat Melvin, 13438 McIntyre Road. I'm not in the city of Lansing, but I'm 100 yards away from it. Lisa invited you to come to her house and check out the impact it's going to have on her. When you're there, please, any of the city council can stop by my house and I'll show you how it's going to affect me. This is not good for me. I'm just saying. And really, use Town Center and use the industrial park on Gilman. That's my recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Was there anybody else in the audience? I'm sorry, public comments?
My name's Mary Ryan. I live at 128 West Kansas Street. I'm a lifelong resident. I know some of you. And I think the last time I was here was 2008 to address the town center. And so I guess that's the thought that keeps coming through my mind. Town center, 2008, and where that's gone all these years and how it's affected our property and where it's going to keep going. And I keep reading about this projects that are coming through, and I'd like to get good information, and you don't have to address it tonight, but it sounds to me like these developers are coming in and they're wanting us to waive their taxes for 20 years so that they can afford to develop. And because you want to have more housing for all levels of people. Well, I'd like to have a better house. I'd like a new kitchen. And there's lots of things I want. But I just live with what I have. And so I'm not really crazy about reading about this, if this is really what's going on, that the taxpayers of Lansing will let developers come in, develop, and I guess the homeowners don't pay taxes for 20 years, or the developers don't pay. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd like to know more about. And so I don't know if there's been public information explaining all this or meetings so that we can understand it. I hate to see another project come in where it doesn't sound like there's something clear what's happening, because back then it was supposed to be a Lowe's. That was what the rumor was, and that didn't happen. And now the rumors are going around, and the plans, it didn't sound like there's a definite plan what's going in there. And so I just would like to see more information before you guys rezone, or I don't know if you have any control about developers or whoever's going to develop this, waiving taxes for 20 years. Am I wrong in what's going on?
No, you're talking about the rural incentive housing district, or the Rural
No
housing
one's
incentive
asked for any type of tax abatement on this property or anything. It's purely conceptual right now. There's no tax abatements on this.
Okay, just the property that's, or the property near McIntyre in K7. Is it?
Well, and to confirm, I mean, those homeowners would pay property taxes. It would just go to infrastructure.
Okay. Well, that's good to know because I'm trying to figure all this out based on Facebook information and newspaper. And so it sounds like 3 projects are going on and you're only talking about one tonight.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And the city does not look for the developer and then find the property. This is the property owner that's requested the rezoning so he can move forward in deciding how he wants to approach it within that zoning. He's not going to market it until he gets the zoning that he thinks would fit his property. So we don't have plans on this one.
Okay.
And that's where it sounds fuzzy. That's the property owner, not us. And not all the developers have plans when they go for rezoning. But when the initial rezoning, and Josh, jump in if I'm wrong, they're conceptual. Once they get the rezoning, they have to go back and they have to redo their plans and go back to the planning commission with the permanent plans. That's not us deciding that. That's the owner with the developer he chooses or they choose.
Okay. Well, I'll keep watching this. I just hope you guys will proceed cautiously so that whatever they say is going to go in there is really going to happen and it does not fall on Lansing taxpayers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any more public comments before we close public comment? Okay. Public comment is closed, and I'll hear from the attorney. Did you have something?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I got a few points I'd like to make because I think that Ms. Ryan kind of touched upon one of the issues. One of the difficulties of tonight is that we've got a mixture of comments that have nothing to do with this property. You know, we hear the phrase cart before the horse. Well, what the citizens of many comments that I heard was they want us to put the cart before the horse in the sense that they want us to do all these studies. They want traffic studies, they want these studies, and that's not the way the process works. They want the city residents to spend all this money on studies that may never come to fruition. That is absolutely not good use of taxpayer money. To maybe a development's coming in, maybe it's not. This is solely about zoning. That is it. The talk about the lofty things about traffic, schools, that has no bearing on whether or not this board passes this zoning. It's in reference to, will it meet what this board determines it should be? We've heard talk about the comprehensive plan. It is old. It's been acknowledged by the people that have spoken. It's acknowledged by staff. It is old. It needs updated. I wouldn't disagree with that. One of the things that this body has directed our city administrator to do is to seek growth, seek business, seek whatever this thing is to grow this city. He's been doing so. And now that we've got 3 properties looming, now of course that's going to cause friction. We haven't had this kind of activity probably since Fairway Estates when I was here, and that's decades ago now. So it certainly causes friction, and it doesn't help that unfortunately all these developments, or not developments, but all these zonings are taking place in one area. So now we're getting a mixture of people making intermingled arguments about different things. This property owner deserves the right to have a hearing basically on his rezoning based on the facts of his property, not scare tactics, not arguments made for other zoning issues that are in the area. He has no control. This owner has no control over that. In fact, as the mayor has already indicated, one of these is going back because of a vote issue and for those reasons. So at this point, that's not even approved. So you can't even take that as a basis of your argument. I'd argue that you shouldn't take it as a basis of any of your decision making here, for the record. One of the things I kept hearing too is that other developments, in fact, if you wanted to make that argument, I just told you really not to take that in consideration, but the public wants you to. But if you were to take it into consideration, in fact, it would support overturning the comprehensive plan. Because what do we have out of these 3 properties? They're all wanting the same type of zoning. So what does that tell the board? That the market has changed, that the zoning along this corridor is what these folks who want to invest their time and efforts and monies have determined what that market is. We got an old plan. If you want to take that into account, I'm urging you not to, but I'm just pointing out if they want you to take that into account, that there's a counter argument to what they're arguing, okay? The other thing is, as we already know, and this is kind of for the record, so however you vote, that's up to you, not me, is that you've invested almost $3 million to extend to that area for development. Now, you have to determine what development you want. But the city of Lansing and its taxpayers did not extend $3 million worth of infrastructure just to have it sit and stubbed off. That's a fact. So I just ask you to put that in the record as to however you vote. That's part of the reason why your vote would be either up or down on this. Also, as you may recall, or some of you guys are old enough to remember this, we have a K7 corridor plan that the city is a part of. It's an MOU. It's up and down this corridor to keep it free and all that kind of thing. This supports that exact corridor study plan that the city adopted and joined years ago. Now, I can't say that every city along the corridor has adhered to it, and I think we could all drive it and see that he did not. However, but that still technically is a viable development plan or corridor plan that we're a part of. So that would be a basis for support of this rezone. I'm not public comment, sir. And then one of the issues was we heard that, I think it was Ms. Cromer brought it up, that one of the, or maybe it was Mr. Cromer, that one of the individuals was not notified. Well, I don't know that's exactly true. I know it was stated at the planning commission meeting. However, the owner was here. So he was actually present. He was here for the hearing, and it was acknowledged that he was here for the hearing. So again, if they want to say you can't vote on it, I'm not going to adopt their position, but the owner had, at some point, had actual notice, and he was present, and he spoke to the planning commission. So those are the things I wanted to make sure that the council is aware of. And if you adopt my comments as part of the factual finding of what, either up, down, that's your guys' decision. But we have to have a record of the basis for your vote, just not a plain vote on no factual basis. So that's what I'm just trying to present for you.
Okay. Anything from the council? Anything else? Kevin, anyone?
Not if we're just sticking to this one. I'll address the other one later. So.
Okay. Yes. All right. I think we have a motion and a second to approve the ordinance. So call the roll.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Brungard?
Yes.
Mr. Stednicka?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Kowalski?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
Yes.
Motion passed. 8-0.
That was on that.
Okay. Item number 7 is L8 or LCHS Hazlet replat, final plat. The applicant proposes to replat the existing Lot 1 of the LCHS Hazlet subdivision, an 8-acre lot, into 2 separate lots, Lot 1 being 7.49 acres in size and Lot 2 being 0.59 acres in size. The Planning Commission voted 5-0 to approve the preliminary and final plats. So I need a motion to approve the LCHS Hazlet replat, final plat, and accept the dedication of land for public purposes as outlined thereon.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this one? No? I'll call the roll.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Brungard?
Yes.
Mr. Stednicka?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Kowalski?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
Yes.
Motion passed. Item number 8 is executive session. preliminary discussion of the acquisition of real property. Made a motion to enter into executive session for the preliminary discussion of acquisition of real property, KSA 754319 Bravo 6, for 20 minutes, beginning at 8 and ending at 8:20.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Call a roll.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Brungard?
Yes.
Mr. Stednica?
Yes?
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Kowalewski?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
Yes.
Okay.
But one's city and one's not.
It's a little cold in here. Yes.
All right. Need a motion to return to open session.
So moved. Second?
Have a motion and a second to return to open session. Call roll.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Clemens? Mr. Brungard?
Yes.
Mr. Stednica?
Yes?
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Kowalewski?
Yes.
Mr. Garvey?
I don't know if he's coming back.
Okay.
Jesse's not coming back.
Okay.
We've returned to open session. No binding action was taken. So we'll go into reports. Anything from the department heads? Nope. City attorney?
Another report, Mayor.
City administrator? Tim?
The Friends of the Library book sale begins tomorrow, so be sure to check that out at the Activity Center. It goes tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. So any funds that the Friends of the Library raises, they use that for programs and fun things at our library. So be sure to check that out.
Is that it?
Yep.
All right, thank you. And we'll go around the horn, starting with Pete.
I have nothing, sir.
All right. Dan?
Same as Pete. I have nothing to.
Okay, Carrie?
I have nothing, Mayor.
Thanks. Don?
I just want to congratulate our Citizen Academy graduates again. I know they probably all went home. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Yes, congratulations to the graduates. I know we only addressed one issue tonight, but there are a lot of things going on in one area and concerns a lot of people. We, back in the early 80s, I think Carrie was here, but early 80s, Lansing was half the population that it is now. And I'm sure they had issues and growing pains as they move forward to where they're at now. And recently we've reduced or stagnated, whatever you want to call it. What's going on out there may be a result of what's going on around us, and it shouldn't be ignored, but addressed. And I just can't. We need to grow. If that's where the developers want to work, that's where the money's at, that's where they want to go. We need to work together. We need to figure out how to get it done so that Lansing prospers and not just the developers. The incentives they're looking for, it happens everywhere. It's been going on around us. They go to wherever the best deal is, and then that's where they build. If they build around us, we lose. They build near us and somebody else gets it, we lose. We have to figure out how to grow, how to be stable financially, which we have been. And we just, if we keep selling developers no, they're going to just start looking somewhere else and not even bother coming here. And that's when we really will suffer. So we just need to find a way to progress and move forward so that the next generation and the generation after that can be proud to live here like we were when we were younger. That's all I have.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Gene?
Agree with everything that's been said, but I want to talk about AT&T and their quest to do the north side of town with fiber. There was no notification given to what was going on or when it was going to happen, unlike it was when Clearwave came in, and we're pretty good about letting people know where they were going and when they were going to get there. And this last week, people started looking out in their yards and seeing flags and not knowing what's going on. No notification of any kind from anybody. And I don't know, we need to address that somehow so that people are made aware and prepare for it. I talked to one lady down the street whose gas line was painted from the street right up to her house. She was afraid that meant they were going to dig there, which is not the case. They were just showing the contractors where the gas line was. So whatever we did with Clearway when they came in, we need to duplicate that again. And I drove some today, and they're clearly not cleaning up as well as they should. In fact, I drove by an open hole, which is not safe for anybody. So I don't know if we need to reach out to AT&T and tell them to do a better job, and if there's still some, if we can get a time frame from them, or maybe some sort of schedule or something, so we can let the people know.
Yep, I will check on that.
All right, thank you. I'm done.
All right, Jake.
Yeah, I just like to echo what people said about the Citizens Academy. It's a pretty cool thing. It's kind of where I started before I went up here, and I think a couple other folks did too. So, yeah, congratulations, everybody. And with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. Call roll.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Clemens?
Yes.
Mr. Brungard?
Yes.
Mr. Studnicka?
Yes.
Mr. Gardner?
Yes.
Mr. Kirby?
Yes.
Mr. Kowaleski?
Yes.
We are adjourned.